we are witnessing one of the most extraordinary scenes I have ever seen.
Hop on board the world's largest safari vehicle as we track down Africa's most iconic animals on our daily live shows.
This is crazy.
Captivating characters, breathtaking beauty, and daily drama.
Artwork, $1 million card. How insane is that animal?
Only on WildEarth. This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Jumbo. Very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this afternoon safari. All I'll dedicate to you is welcome to this afternoon's live safari. A very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this afternoon safari. My name is Isaac, and on camera I have Bungay. We have a rhino we'd like to share with you before it disappears. It's somewhere off to my right. We'll be seeing it shortly. Can't tell exactly where it has gone to. It's such a big animal, but it can quickly disappear in your front of your eyes. I cannot believe this, There he is. Yeah, looks like he's heading out into the open plains. A very good start to this afternoon safari. Black rhino, one of the most endangered species of animals that we have. What a find. I know he won't be there for very long, but I'm so happy that I get to share him with you. Remember to talk to us, #WildEarth. Questions and comments are really, really welcome. Cooking Fat, good afternoon, and Jumbo. Yes, the horn is quite massive. Well, these are browsers, a very shy animal, lives in dense thicket and bush, and that's where it is disappearing to. Just like it appeared, it has disappeared, just like a ghost, as you can see. We rarely get to see them because they love very quiet times, very hidden areas. And this one I was very lucky to have spotted him from a distance. I have followed him for a little bit. It's a pity that he's gone, but it is evident that we have black rhinos here in the Masai Mara. Well, it's a beautiful afternoon that we have here. It's quite warm, around 29 degrees Celsius. And looks like we might have some rain. Remember to talk to us, #WildEarth. Questions and comments are really, really welcome. I'm gonna continue on, see if I can find something else for you, but that was rather very rushed. But what to do? Nature gives you whatever is possible. Well, I'm gonna continue on, and as I do this, let me take you to another one of live safari vehicles.
Good afternoon and welcome to this other side of the Mara. From the black rhino to our lioness that was hunting this morning. Now the prize has been paid. My name is Tim, and behind camera we have Big James. There's lots of zebras and wildebeest right about there. But this morning earlier, this lioness was with her sister about 300 meters from here. She looks like she was talking then. But we came out later, she was not there. But look at her right now, she's already got herself a prize. This is so interesting. She has not yet eaten it all, but just a little piece. She's watching over those wildebeest and zebra. Is she thinking of whether to go there or not? Sometimes, even though lions have kill, they might decide to go for the second opportunity. I've seen lions going after wildebeest 3-4 times. She is with her sister just on the shade there. She's the one that is watching the zebras there and the wildebeest. Not quite sure if they did it. Samia, thank you for your question. An adult lion can eat about 35 kilos on a sitting. A lioness can eat about 22 kilos on a sitting. That is so much. So this wildebeest weighs about 120 kilos. So if it's about 4 lions here, or 5, then it will be finished by within 3 hours, or 2 hours. She's now beginning. She's twisted it, turned it around. They start from the softer tissues. Sometimes they begin with the groin, sometimes on the armpit there. You can hear her teeth slicing through the skin. I'm quite happy for this lion because she tried about 3 days consecutively without success. But today, this afternoon, she's finally won it. She might decide to either drag it to shade or carry on eating from there. Maybe the sister might decide to join. But as we wait here watching this lion eat, let's take you over to another safari vehicle.
So coming from that quite interesting sighting you were just watching with that lioness and a kill, we've got quite an interesting sighting here at andBeyond Phinda as well. You can see this huge amount of vulture activity just sitting on the ground. And in this case, it's not actually due to a kill. It's just due to the vultures having a bath. My name is Kim, and behind the camera we have Craig, and we will be with you this afternoon. So this might be one of the first times I've actually seen a huge amount of vultures just resting on the ground with no carcass around. You can actually see quite a few of them are even lying down, which is quite interesting. Very interesting behavior. A few of them, as you can see, that one is now grooming itself. It's just spread its wing out, and it's actually just taking its bill and taking little parasites and little bits of dirt out of those wings. And I think what's happened is it's a very hot day here at andBeyond Phinda, and there's a little pool of water right in front of them. And I think what these vultures have done in this hot day is come down, probably given themselves a bit of a bath, and are now trying to dry out in the sun and just busy pruning and cleaning their wet feathers. It's quite amazing to actually see something like this. I don't know if many of our viewers have seen this before. You can also see on the right they've got an Egyptian goose that's joined the party. Perhaps it's a case of mistaken identity. Yeah, he's just sitting there spending quite a bit of time with these vultures. You can see that one on the far right. Actually, it's quite amazing when you see all those feathers fluffed out, trying to get as much sun and dry them out as quickly as possible. You can imagine it makes it quite difficult for these birds, especially something like a vulture. It's a very, very heavy bird, so they don't want to have to fly with wet wings. It takes quite a lot of energy for them to fly and get into trees, and so as a result they need to just make sure they're in sort of the best condition to do that. You can see that one in the middle is actually fluffing itself out now. Again, trying to get gaps in those feathers just so it can clean itself a little bit better. In front of this watering hole, we actually got some, looks like red-breasted swallows flying over and just getting some water in their mouths. Beautiful. Amazing how you can see that there's a huge amount of different behavior with the different changes in season. I mean, a lot of the animals we've seen as we've driven past here have all been lying in the shade. We saw some warthogs wallowing in the mud, so everyone's trying to do what they can to keep cool right now, you know, including these vultures that have had this little bath. So these vultures, sorry, I haven't even identified them for you. They are whiteback vultures. And it's difficult to see why they're called whiteback vultures looking at them here. They do, actually there's that one who's opened up its feathers a bit and it can actually give us a gleam of that white back. It looks like they're starting to take off now. You see how they're all standing. The one actually just hopped off and it's quite an interesting flight. You might get a chance to see if you, there we go. Give it a bit of a running start. You can see that hopping along. Beautiful. And you can see actually the amount of energy and effort it's taking for them to sort of carry that very heavy body weight off. It's amazing that they seem to be taking turns, not all going at one time. And I can imagine it's got something to do with the wingspan. You know, if they all suddenly went off and flew at the same time, it would be quite difficult for them to actually, you know, very often they would knock each other over. So they seem to be timing it pretty perfectly. That one on the ground's a bit late to the party. Yes, this is a beautiful scene right now. As they finish sort of taking off, hopefully we can get a view. There we go, panning out. We can try and get a view of some of them right in the sky.
Good afternoon and welcome to the western fringes of the Greater Kruger National Park. We've got a little pod of hippos that was almost out of the water when we got here and now has decided that they are going to ridicule us and in so doing find the afternoon very amusing. That's what was going on there. They were laughing heartily at embarrassing us. Hello, my name is James Hendry. On camera today we've got Paul. They weren't really laughing at us, obviously. They were doing a little that's what they sounds like. We all know somebody who laughs like that, but that's not what the hippos were doing. It is a glorious afternoon here after the foulness of the last few days, weather-wise, I mean. I'm thoroughly enjoying the feeling of the sun on my skin. Our plan is to head towards the eastern side of the reserve and see if we can't pick up some sign of the Nkuhuma Pride from yesterday. We didn't find any tracks of theirs this morning on foot, or certainly no fresh ones. And so we'll try and unravel the mystery of whether or not the Pride reunited, possibly at that buffalo kill. Then we also have, if you don't mind them, Paul, the grey heron that seems to have taken up residence here. It's doing a little wander down the shoreline, hoping to find itself a nice frog to eat. Yum, yum. I'm glad I don't have to stick my face into this water. It's very pleasant to look at, but You don't want to be putting your face in here. There's not a lot of through flow, which means the longer it sits here, the more dung accumulates from various creatures in it. Although that would have been diluted slightly by the amount of rain we had over the last little while, probably around about 35 millimetres, I reckon. You can probably hear the gentle breeze blowing out of the north and the twittering and semi-angry squittering sound being made by the red-billed buffalo weavers. So far, not a great deal of building activity from the other weavers in this part of the world. I'm sure the hippos are enjoying their swim, as is the grey heron enjoying his lunch. So we'll head off towards the northern boundary and then out towards the east.
Hippos are lovely to watch. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Tswalu. This giraffe has decided to hide behind the bushes, but we will get a little view. And good afternoon, my name is Kyle. Welcome to Tswalu. Behind camera is Mr. Glenn. Hello, Glenn. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a very sunny and warm day here at Tswalu. This beautiful southern giraffe is just taking it easy. Get a little nibble. We've got some springbok in the distance there as well. A lovely day it is. We're going to go down south and we're going to see if we can pick up on mother and three. We haven't had them for a couple of days. Tswalu is so vast that if you don't follow up on the animal every single day, they're bound to move into an area where the tracks get disturbed by either wind or rain or other animals. And so we haven't seen them for about a week and a little bit now. And today is the day we're going to go down south to see if we can locate those gorgeous, gorgeous animals. I've also done my homework from yesterday. We ID'd a beautiful dragonfly at the pan yesterday. And let me just grab this quickly. And doing my homework last night, it is a new species for me. Oh, they're in the road, Glenn. Fantastic. It's a beautiful little springbok crossing the road. Oh, well, there was a springbok crossing the road. There it comes. Yes. Good afternoon. And yeah, so looking at that beautiful dragonfly yesterday, that everybody that joined us, and if you didn't, we had a beautiful dragonfly at the water's edge yesterday, at a pan to the east, and we managed to get quite a good view of it. But just so that everybody knows, if Glenn, you can punch in over here, we were looking at it and we focused, somebody asked a question with the two little red appendages at the end of the abdomen. So if you look at these dragonflies, you can see the eyes are touching one another, and then as well as the wings being horizontal, not together. But if you look at the claspers, look how the claspers, these end appendages, are different within this dragonfly family. So it looked like two broad wings that we saw yesterday, which is fairly easy to go through it. So it is part of the larger species of dragonfly. So we're using color, we're using the wing panels, and as well as the claspers. But if you take a look at our video yesterday, and as well as our photo, there's the red claspers that we saw yesterday, dark red, and then one distinctive patch is that beautiful blue patch right over there. Vagrant Emperor, which is a brand new species for me. Oh, there we go. So defining factors is that little red spot or red claspers along with this blue patch on the thorax section. But fantastic to ID some new species of insect like that. We're going to send you off to another amazing location and we'll see you in a bit.
Dragonfly plays an important role in an ecosystem, and it's actually interesting how dragonfly can fly a very long direct from their migration. Now here in the Mara we have Lioness. She's still devouring that carcass. It just began. I am suspecting that she might have killed this about 40 minutes ago, because when I got here, it was still intact. Could still no blood stain, but just a slight bit of where she had started to eat. They start behind, or beginning with the hind legs, where it's a bit softer. Terry, thank you for your question. Lions only eat the very soft edges of the rib cage, but then the rest is left of they just pull out a chunk of meat that is on the rib cage, but then the rest is left for the hyenas and the vultures. Only the softer bone tissue that are eaten by the lions, because it's actually adjoined with some meat or some flesh, but the rest of the rib cage is eaten by the hyenas. Can you imagine she stayed for about 3 days hunting with fail, with no success. But today the prize has been paid. The sister has not yet joined. There were 3 working together last night. They tried hunting, but it failed. So I think this will take them another 3 or 4 days, because we only see them. The Lolo have around 18 lions, but we only see some split up into 3s and 4s. So this lioness with a collar always walks alongside with 2 other lionesses. It's still warm, so the hyenas are not yet here, but if they sniff this, they'll definitely want to come and join. So it will be interesting to see the behavior or what will happen next. Vultures still haven't seen this, so when they start soaring up, of course that will attract hyenas, and possibly other lion from the same family might want to come and investigate what the vultures have seen. So this is so interesting. I'm going to still stay here, watch this. How wonderful it is to just come on a drive and find lions eating. It's so cool. So this lioness was mating about 5 days ago, and presumably maybe she might be pregnant. So it's going to take her about 3.5 months before she can separate herself from the rest of the pride and go somewhere where she can give birth. But during that time, she'll always be hunting by herself, because there's more. You're quite right, yes. All this by herself. What a big meal. I'll be interested to see if the other pride members will join. Oh, look at her tearing the skin. She's already punctured the stomach, so the gas that was in the stomach was let off. Still looking at the zebras and wildebeest. So interesting is that if an opportunity arises again, she might be tempted to go and take one down. Look at her, how she's looking at them, wondering if she can go there. She's still panting heavily. Seems like she's the one that took this down. The softer tissues and the blood make them regain their energy. So she's actually licking the skin to make it soft.
We give it before I say something.
25 past now. 2 minutes. Probably even 2 and 8.
Oh yes, it's also true. My father is phoning me.
Well, a lion is still on her keel. It seems like she's super hungry. Look at how she keeps on twisting and turning that carcass from the stomach there. Now she's gone to the groin. I think she wants to get into this flesh as soon as possible, because she keeps on looking around, and because we are not far from a hyena den here, probably might take a little bit of time before she finishes this, so she needs to eat as much as she can. But we have a sister who is on guard, watching over some wildebeest and zebra. I can't tell you how patient this lioness was, because in the morning I found her about 300 meters from here, and now it's about over 8 hours. She was still within this radius, and her prize has been paid off. Sometimes, if they fail hunting, they will just go near a waterhole. Yes, thank you so much for your question. This caller will be present on this lioness for about 6 or 8 months, depending on how the data has been collected. So this caller transmits about every 2 minutes or every about 2 hours data towards a transmitter that is somewhere with the research team. So until they've recorded all the data from her movement, interaction with other lions in the prides, so it will take about 6 to 8 months before they remove it. I'll also be keen to see how far she gets every 3 days, every 3 to 4 days, to see if she walks out of a pride territory or if she walks out of the conservation area. I'll also be keen to learn more about her movement. I'm going to sit here, wait, and watch if the sister will come and what will happen next as we take you over to another safari vehicle.
This tortoise, since we've been with him, has covered quite a distance of some, I don't know, 40 meters or so. Anyway, he's a leopard tortoise, just gently going about his business, enjoying his day, looking for delicious forbs to eat. Maybe the odd mushroom, but unlikely. He's almost exclusively a herbivore, is the leopard tortoise. And I don't know if you can see there, but there are 2 big dents in his carapace, and that indicates that he has experienced some kind of nasty injury at some stage during his life. But he's okay. And I would ordinarily have got out and picked it up and brought it over here and showed you and touched it, and that was until I learned that A, they void their bowels, or a bursa sac inside that holds water, and from which they derive hydration, so you can dehydrate them if you pick them up. And also, they can actually feel it when you touch their shells, apparently, and it can be quite painful. So you don't touch them at all anymore. And so we just have to observe them. And when they walk off at great speed like this one is doing, well, then that's all we can do. And in fact, he has gone so far away now that we can no longer see him. We are on the eastern boundary, and Paul is scanning the horizon for the Nkuhuma Pride, but I'm afraid I have seen absolutely no sign of them at this stage. But we'll keep on searching. This is where we had them last night. We had the most wonderful sighting of them just on the grass over there. Just checking our radios, making sure they're working. Alrighty, they are still working. Good news. Okay, here are some impala. Let's have a look at them. They are standing actually exactly where the lions were yesterday. Hello, you like my head? Let's have a look at the impala. The leopard tortoise is able to certainly excavate a little bit when they need to go underground for the winter. But normally they won't dig an enormous hole, as far as I'm aware. The Speke's hinge tortoise seems to be a slightly more accomplished digger, and they also have a much thinner shape, and so they don't need to dig such a big hole. I would suggest that leopard tortoises probably do to a certain extent, but it's more a modification of an existing hole or depression than it is an actual excavation. Big bachelor herd here. All the boys together. All the boys are together because the girls are about to give birth. And these chaps will live in contentment with each other until May next year, whereupon they'll hate each other again. Lovely sounds all around, beautiful birds. Nancy, the horns are bone inside, and so yes, there are blood vessels and there are nerves, so they're innervated and vasculated. I don't think they're particularly sensitive, otherwise they would be pretty ineffectual as weapons, and if you've ever seen an impala fighting, you'll know that they clatter into each other and then tear at each other. They try and hook each other's horns. So, yes, they definitely are innervated and they definitely have blood vessels in them, but I don't think they hurt a great deal, unless they're torn off, in which case they probably hurt a lot. But I don't think they're very sensitive. That keratin sheath probably also, which isn't innervated or vasculated, that keratin sheath that fits over the top of the horns probably also protects the horn from excruciating pain when they clatter into each other. I'm sure it hurts a little bit, but it can't hurt too much. Otherwise they wouldn't fight. Right, I'm still going to try and unravel the mystery of the missing Djuma Pride.
Impalas are so interesting to watch, especially when there's a big harem and the males trying to herd the females. Now back to our lioness. She is still on her kill. I tell you what, she has not even raised her head. She's carrying on eating and eating. She looks like she might have been super hungry. I can just hear her cannon slicing through that flesh. Hopefully maybe the sister will join, because it looks like she's still seated and lying on. So with this, in this time of the year, you find that these lions go into a feast because there's lots of game. It's so nice. I'm going still to sit here and watch this lioness devour this carcass. how nice to see this, because you don't often see this pride just after they kill. The last time I saw them eating was a long time, but I'm sure sometimes they get to kill when we are not around, or maybe in the bushes where we can hardly see them. So I think the other two sisters will come, and if not, she will carry on eating, go to take a rest while guarding this carcass. I was just listening to how she was slicing this carcass. So at least Rosalind, thank you so much for your question. The biggest kill that this lioness has taken down is an eland. So I once watched her before she was mounted this collar on. They came across a herd of eland, and one of the eland was actually sitting down. And before the eland could notice, she was up on her throat. So I think that's the biggest kill I've ever seen this lion take down. Can you hear that? Her cannons slicing through the skin and the flesh. She's a super strong lioness, and I'm sure this will at least take her for about 3-4 days before she goes for her next meal anytime after that.
Yes, kazi mwana binadamu. Well, I am here with a very big herd of wildebeest that has decided to use their forelegs to get out of this area. I don't know what happened. They got spooked and they are on the run. As you can see, sometimes for no reason, they will just decide to run, like you can see. And blindly, sometimes they can run into lions, but it's typical of them to do this. And sometimes they run into holes, so break their legs. It looks those are the draggers, not in a rush, maybe much more experienced. It's typical for them, for them to run in single files like this. And that's why when you fly over the Masai Mara, you think it's vehicles that are formed trucks everywhere, but some places it is wildebeest and a zebra. That is a good number, maybe 2,000 of them, and they're heading out of the upper side of the swamp. Maybe they have a place they think it's safer. That is their mentality, and that's where they're headed. Maybe they could be very, very, very wrong. One of them might get killed, for the rest to survive. It is normal. Remember, this is part of the annual migration that happens once a year, lasts about 3 months. It has been prolonged due to localized rains that we've been getting. I'm not complaining, I'm very appreciative, but it tells you that nature has got a pattern that we can never understand, and they have stayed here a little bit longer. They're quite a long way from the border, and so it will take them a few weeks to get there, to cross over to the Serengeti. But already many of these are carrying the young ones, like they're pregnant, I would say, because a lot of mating has just happened here in the Masai Mara. Remember to talk to us, #WildEarth. Questions and comments are really, really welcome. That is the scene that is set by nature. As you can see, beautiful, beautiful background of dotted trees, Looks a little bit hazy, like somebody was burning somewhere, but I doubt it because it's been raining, so it's just mist. Megan, thank you for your, comment. Going for a casual walk or jog. Yeah, maybe the early afternoon jog, maybe. Could be. Remember, these guys are very, very fit. I call them the athletes of the plains. Because can you imagine walking 500 kilometers in a few months? Walking, running. You are never in one spot for more than 20 minutes. You're constantly on the move. I think they must be also tough to eat. I wonder why lions always go for them, but maybe that exercise makes them, tasty. I don't know. But they're always on the move. They never get tired. They're just resilient in getting to a spot that is never there, because they get somewhere and they want to go somewhere. So they're always going somewhere. It's hard to understand the wildebeest. I'm still trying to really understand wildebeest, but I don't think you'll ever understand, because they always have a mind of their own. Like right now, there is no reason to go anywhere. There is plenty of water. There is plenty of grass. Why go anywhere? But they are wildebeest. I'm gonna move on, get closer to them. This area was full of them, about an hour ago, but they have left, and I'm going to see if I can find them, because I know where they will be. Up ahead there, they will be gathered in very huge crowds, which I will be more than, happy to share with you, but there must be quite a lot of them. Remember, during migration, we get about 1.5 million of them coming here to the Mara, but they're never in one spot. They're always moving around. So you could be in the migration season, but you could be in an area where you don't see them at all. I have a very big herd of elephant coming up, and some more way to my left. It's starting to cool off. Started out quite hot, but the temperature is dropping, and I'm loving this. It's much better for the predators to come out, so that we can spot them, because it's been hard to spot a cat this afternoon since I started, and I know they're around here. They're always around here. I've caught up with the wildebeest. I'm gonna stop right here so I can share them with you, but they're still on the move. We also have a beautiful herd of elephant that is over to my left, and another line of wildebeest has just started further down to my left. So looks like the wildebeest are deciding to head out. That is another line. As you can see, they are heading out. Yeah, I'll leave you to enjoy that scene as the wildebeest leave the marsh, and we'll take you to another safari vehicle.
Well, making our way down south, we thought that we did look at it yesterday, I know, but you just can't get enough of these enormous nests. We thought we'd just stop and appreciate this enormous structure with you folks. We're also looking for any activity of snakes, and as well as that beautiful little small raptor, the pygmy falcon. Also looking nice and slow with my binos. We're looking for any skinks. You would find tree skinks inhabiting. Oh, there's one, Glenn. Got it. Do you see where the branch comes out there? Do you see where that bed patch is? There goes another one. Fantastic. Look at this, guys. Glenn's going to find it for us quickly. So these skinks, a little bit down, like inhabiting nests with sociable weavers. Up to the left. There we go. On the sun there. Got him. Look at that. Nice. So these skinks will inhabit nests with sociable weavers, And look how amazing that animal is clinging to the bark. So obviously you've got claws at the end of the digits, and that enables it to scale these surfaces. No sticky pads, no suction cups. It is claws that enable it to move. There's another one, Glenn. Go in. To the right. There it moves. Look at that. And so these skinks rely on the sociable weavers as an early warning system for a pygmy falcon. Up a little bit. There it is. Fantastic. Blends in so well. That elongated stripe really allows it to blend in with this fragmented bark. But this little skink will actually use the sociable weavers sociable weavers as an early warning system for the presence or the approach of a pygmy falcon, which would predate on these little skinks. So the skinks relying on the birds and also finding refuge in these big, wonderful abodes. But a nice little lizard to see, especially on a tree like this. So skinks are fairly easy to recognize. If you look at that head, it's almost uniform with the body. They've almost got no neck. That's typical of skink family. And really remarkable little reptile, eating small insects. So anything from flies to small grasshoppers. They'll be feeding on that. What else is there? I saw a bit of movement a bit higher. Sorry, just hold on. What is that? Oh, no, it's just the bark. But really nice co-inhabiting species. And so they will inhabit these enormous nests and actually coincide or co-inhabit with the sociable weaver nests. But we're looking for owls resting on top. We're looking for any kills. We'll find leopards actually stashing their kills on top of these enormous structures. So every time we drive past, you have to be really, really careful. Oh, Anushka, how long did it take them to build this nest? Anushka, this over here, this nest is very old. To build a nest this size, this would be, I would say, close to 20, 30 years. I mean, they're continuously building and renovating these enormous nests. So you can see there's actually different sections of this nest. So if Glenn can just get back there, you'll see that there's a section on the left-hand side of the tree. There we go. You can see there's a section on the left-hand side of the tree. There's a separate nest in the middle there, almost top middle of the screen, and this enormous section on the far right. This nest would be 30 plus years. It takes them a long time to accumulate this much material, and then they could last years and years and years. They're fairly weather resistant. You do have a little bit of negative impact from rain. If we have big rains, obviously the material soaks up all of this water, and when that extra weight is added onto the branches, sometimes these limbs do break. And I mean, it is a lot of weight for the tree to hold. Although this is one of the toughest woods in Africa, this camel thorn, along with other species like leadwood and ironwood, which are just extremely, extremely hard. But going past these nests, you always have to have a careful eye for anything, because there are so many individual species that utilize these nests at different given points and times. We're going to send you off to another location. We'll be back soon.
Well, the wildebeest have moved on. They're not very far. We'll be sharing with you shortly where they've gone and talk about them. But here, another very beautiful herd of elephant, a good about 15, and those two are about 2.5, 3 years old. It looks like they are wrestling, and that guy is trying to bully her younger cousin. You can see that. That is bullying, showing dominance to the younger ones. Better be careful, because if it trumpets or rumbles, the mother would come out, and usually they get some disciplination. they get disciplined quite quickly. But those there, you can tell they are males, and usually after having their fill, they'll play around, plays that determine who is dominant to the other, and it will prove in the near future to be very, very useful, because it will stop conflicts, as they will know each other and understand that we don't need to fight anymore. They're coming towards me. I don't know how much longer they have, but casually they are enjoying themselves. It's always fun to watch these little guys. This animal is making a comeback, and as you can tell here, we're doing really well with lots of young ones. I would like to see more of these guys, but looks like we're going to be seeing more in the coming years, and it's very, very good.
Here we have got a little bathing scene going on. We had some guinea fowls, they've gone away, and, well, the starling's now going away too, but it was having quite a sweet little bath in that puddle. It's been left over by the rain. Lovely calls of the orange-breasted bushshrike. And then, if you look over here, we've got some Natal spurfowl on the ground, which are a bit closer by. There they are, wandering gently along towards what I think is the most magnificent jackalberry tree on the reserve, second most magnificent jackalberry tree, and the only one that has this weird twisted trunk that I don't think's really explicable, because none of the others here have got the same thing. Hi guys, having a good afternoon, enjoying the warmth like we are? Yes, sure you are, even though you are obviously a little bit nervous. I suppose if I was that size I would also be nervous, looking for little seeds and insects and whatever else they can find. Very sweet. There's a robin, or I think it's a robin, that's imitating a Diedrich's cuckoo just behind us. Not doing a very good job of it, but trying. Is the spurfowl going to fill the gap there? And it's got 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, let's move on. We're now on our way to drive up the Mlalalamati riverbed, and we'll see if we can see the spotted eagle owl.
Good luck with the spotted eagle owl, James. Now here we have a second lioness that has joined in for some bites here. So I think she was guarding while her sister was eating. So they normally take turns to eat, or sometimes eat together. Looks like they were super tired after they took this wildebeest down. So the other one has eaten, gained some energy, went to rest. And I'm sure this is what will happen with this one. She will eat. Look at that blood. The blood that they sometimes drink from the carcass after they've just taken down a kill helps them regain energy. So mostly they will just take down an animal after maybe a very long and hard time to get it down, and then go and take a rest. And then they'll walk back slowly and start eating. And this is what this lioness has done. She was watching while her sister was eating. So her sister got a share, at least enough for now, went to rest, and then this one here got to carry on. So these are good meals, so which can at least last them for about 4 days, because it seems like there are just 2 of them. But they can sometimes share with the rest of the pride, who might as well join in soon or later. Remember, we're coming to you live, #WildEarth, for your question and comments on the YouTube comment section at FC, for young viewers at Kids Questions at WildEarth.tv. I think she's drinking blood. Yeah, she's drinking blood. The blood will help them actually to gain energy from the long hunt, I'm sure. After she's already eaten, she'll go and take a rest. Look at her, how she's watching around. There's some wildebeest and zebras walking over in the distance as she carries on to drink blood. She needs more energy. It's interesting how these lions take turns to eat. You wonder what communication goes through them as they're eating. Who will take a turn, who will rest, and how to go about it. It's instinct that picks in from a very young or early age. Lynn, thank you so much for your question. Yes, she might. She can roar, which is more of a contact call. Especially if, let's say, for example, they were walking or stalking at night, and one of them locates and takes a zebra or a wildebeest down, then she will call to make her sister come join her for the meal. Definitely, but here at least she can be seen by one of her sisters, but if she was by herself, she might roar and call the rest of the sisters to come. Like I told you a little bit earlier, they've been here for over about 7 hours where they were waiting, because we passed them here in the morning and thought they will be successful in a hunt, but come this afternoon, that's when they've got lucky. So that shows you how lions go through a tough life in pursuit of prey. Sometimes they fail, sometimes they win. It's been taking them about 3 days consecutively. I've watched them miss or fail out on a hunt. So today their prize has been paid. Seems like there's lots of blood there. You can see how she's licking her face. As I wait here to see what's going to happen next, let's take you over to another safari vehicle.
We have come to the nest of the spotted eagle owl. The spotted eagle owl is fast asleep. Is completely used to us now. totally comfortable that we are not going to do it any harm, or that it is completely invisible to us. Sorry about that. Now, by my reckoning, that egg should be just about ready to come out and reveal the cotton wool ball that is beneath. Because, if I'm not mistaken, the incubation period is about... no, it's not. It's probably about a week out. I think it's about 30 days. Let me just quickly check. Let me quickly have a look. Incubation period is 29 to 33 days, yes. So Tristan mentioned that he thought they were nesting here before he left, and that was the day I got here, Trish and I got here, which was almost 3 weeks ago, so it can't be too far off. Probably another 10 days or so before she is gone and we have to start hunting up and down this bank for a small cotton wool bowl with yellow eyes and a little black beak. Oof, it'll be just too wonderful. For those of you who don't know, we watched a spotted eagle owl in this area grow from cotton wool to flight over the course of, I don't know, it must have been 6 weeks or so at the end of last year, leading up to the Christmas period. It was very, very special. Each day would come here and he'd be slightly bigger, and then eventually we watched him take his first flight. His name was Sebwig because he was found by Sebastian. And we hope that Sebwig is perhaps part of his own spotted eagle owl couple now. He's moved on from home. This is one of his proud parents, his mum. She looks quite severe. I think she's probably quite strict. Not sure if she allows any friends over. Sebwig certainly wasn't allowed any play dates. He had to play on his own. Definitely makes him do his homework. And unlike the parents of the people I used to teach, definitely makes them practice their guitar. Linda, you say this is your favorite kind of bird? Yes, I think a lot of people like owls very much. I am certainly one of those. There's something very captivating about them. Perhaps it's their legend. You know, they appear in a lot of cultures as mysterious creatures, possibly because they operate at night, and they make that very hooting sound, a lot of them. Some of them don't make a hooting sound at all, but the big ones tend to. And that seems to be around the world that owls fulfill that mysterious role in folklore. Not so much the incredibly brutally noisy crested francolin. Just when you're settling in for a gentle relax, it starts trumpeting its head off. Is it one eye slightly open? Look with my binoculars. No? I think they are both very closed. I'll probably hear the odd fly. And so I think we'll carry on Let's see if we can find any evidence of those lions, because I've got no idea where they went.
Well, there's never a dull moment, and this is another amazing sight of the white-bearded gnu with what they do best: moving. And here there is a good couple of thousand that have decided it's no longer okay to be here, and they're heading backwards for no reason, because the grass is everywhere. But like I said, they have a mind of their own, and they can decide to move from one area to the other. But this is a fantastic view. I hope you're enjoying this. They are scattered, and also there is a very long line that stretches all the way in front of me and across to the other side, and goes a very, very long way and disappears over into the horizon. This is how many there are. It's such an amazing sight. I'm very, very grateful that I'm getting to share this with you, because it happens only this time of the year and for a very, very short time. They go all the way back there and disappear into the horizon. I will be going across to the other side and see how many there are. But this is the great migration. Yeah, and that's where they're coming from, a long ways back there. I don't know how far it stretches, but you can see just such a magical scene set by this animal. That's beautiful. This is what they do best. Moving. And here they're proving that, they do that really, really well. Remember, this is live. It's coming from, the Masai Mara, the Mara Triangle. Yeah. Sometimes I get lost with the words to explain, how beautiful is this. You can see their nice white beards. Looks like they're very determined to get somewhere. And then when they get to that somewhere, they go somewhere else, and then they continue to find, somewhere. They're always on the move. Constantly on the move, and sometimes they just decide it is time to run a little bit, and they do that really, really well. The one thing that they are good at is they break their legs quite easily. They're very accurate in where they step. Of many that die, very few die of breaking their limbs. So it's astonishing and amazing to learn that, they actually die of different things and not breaking their legs. And as you can see, walking very close to your friend or running very close to your friend, sometimes you might trip you or trip him. But here, nobody ever falls from being tripped by their fellow gnu. Remember, continue talking to us. This is amazing, guys. #WildEarth. Questions, comments are really, really welcome. This is fantastic. This is amazing. I hope you're enjoying this. Yeah, they keep going and going and going. Michelle Jumbo, thank you for your comment. This is amazing to see. Indeed, it is super cool to see. It is amazing to see them, run like this. Yeah, looks like they've slowed down. Maybe these guys are the much more experienced ones, the ones that have done a few migrations. They know that, they will get there even by walking. I'm going to move further up so I can get around to where they are. Because I know, the herds are actually even bigger, on the other side, more than where I am. But that was just an amazing scene. Yes, I'm going to continue on. Let's take you to another live safari vehicle.
Well, good luck there, Isaac. We have just come back to an area where we found this beautiful bird. And myself and Glenn thought, what are the chances that it'll be here again? It's a little bit far. We've been just trying to sneak up a little bit closer so we can get a better view. But it is an absolutely beautiful raptor. And the raptor that we see every now and then at Tswalu. It's only about 30 centimeters and weighing in only at about 60, oh no, it won't be weighing at about 60, 160 grams. This is a Gabar goshawk. Very, very nice bird to see. And we saw it here a couple of days ago, and myself and Glenn were talking, what if this bird was to be here? And it'd be really nice to get a beautiful small raptor on the checklist. So it resembles that of the pale chanting goshawk. It's just smaller. The color scheme is almost to a T, like the pale chanting. But size would vary. And then the markings along the breast would slightly vary as well. Size is obviously a dead giveaway when it comes to birding, but a very, very nice bird to see at that. The interesting thing about this bird is that we actually get a melanistic form. So instead of that color scheme that you are seeing there, you can find this bird almost jet black. Very, very cool looking bird. And it's not uncommon to find these color schemes or these morphs within birds. You get a few bird species that have these different color forms, this being one of them. It'll actually make quite a small portion of the actual population of these birds. But very nice to see. Oh, seen. Oh, what does Gabar mean? I actually do not know, to be honest with you. Gabar, something to do with the barring maybe on the chest, Gabar. Or, maybe somebody can help us out there. Let's get the viewers involved. If somebody knows what Gabar actually means, drop us a comment at hashtag WildEarth to help us out on that question. Great question. What does Gabar mean? I'll be learning something today or tonight. Increasing my hard drive size. It's always wonderful to get those questions where you get stumped, because it increases your knowledge and it makes you become a better guide, a more diverse, more all-rounded guide. But this little bird would go for birds up to Franklin size. So Franklin's like a small to medium-sized guinea fowl, rodents, bats, a wide range of reptiles, and as well as insects. Also got the capability of catching insects on the wing, and as well as catching animals on the ground. So a very versatile little bird. And what I'm hoping for, we are actually in the laying period. It's normally between July and December that these birds would produce eggs. So I'm fingers crossed that we could potentially find a nest here somewhere, and it'll be a little stick platform that these birds would create. But with the bird being in this area again, I'm pretty sure, let's check the tree next to me, pretty sure we're going to have a nest somewhere close by, which would be amazing. We've also taken a look at our Kalahari scrub robin nest, and we have now realized that there's 2 eggs inside the nest. Wonderful. It's quite hot in Tswalu today, especially when we're sitting still. It's quite warm. It's about 29 degrees Celsius today. That's about 85 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to try and get a bit closer, and then we'll see you a bit later.
We have got a lovely herd of elephants here. In fact, yes, it's our half-eared herd, as you can see. She is a senior member, if not, in fact, the matriarch of this little herd. And again, everything is just so peacefully, almost soporific out here, because the sun is shining, but it's not too hot. There's a cool breeze blowing. And if you ever want to feel real peace, being around elephants that don't want to kill you is one way of feeling real peace. Elephants that just want to get on with things, and just do get on with things while you're around them, is just such an honor and relaxing kind of experience to have. Well, they're not too far from a little muddy pan. I'm hoping they're going to go there and start tossing mud about the place. I think I can probably move around a bit and get a better view from just around that side. Just because the sun is a bit in our way over there. For those of you wondering about Shashala, I'm afraid she's still got a nasty crick in her shoulder. It's definitely getting better, but we thought if she drove right now, it wouldn't heal. So hopefully she'll be back in the morning. Here we go. Hello, my dear. There's a lovely mud puddle close by. I think you should visit it with your youngster. Let him play in the mud for a while. There you've got a nice view of her ear, or lack thereof. I imagine that must make a relatively substantial difference, or significant difference, to her ability to cool her brain down, and I wonder if she doesn't need to seek out more shade or more water than others of her species. But I wouldn't know for sure. There she comes. Hello, Rachi. You're wondering how elephants protect themselves from lions? Well, they protect themselves from lions by being enormous. That's their main defense. And so lions really will struggle to take an adult elephant. In fact, it's almost impossible for lions to take an adult elephant unless it's severely compromised in some way. So it's very sick, it's extremely old, and has lost an enormous amount of condition. They can and do sometimes take youngsters or sub-adults who have suffered as from drought. So in Savuti you see it happening. You certainly used to. And youngsters are protected from the rest, or from predation, by the rest of the herd. And so they have a number of strategies, but it's mainly their size. And they do use their tusks as well if they have to. Hi. She's just saying hello to us, and I suspect actually just doing that. Maybe saying that's close enough, but she didn't even lift her ears out. Lovely sound of her skin on the branches. Heading straight for that little pan. So maybe my wishes will come true. All of my dreams will today become a reality. Let's go and line up at the pan there. Maybe we will be lucky and she will arrive.
Everyone, and welcome to andBeyond in Ngala. We are currently at Alfred Dam, which is our main watering hole in the west, where a herd of elephants just made their way down to come drink. There's especially a very, very small, tiny one in the middle there. My name is Rowan. I'll be your guy on the camera. I've got OD. And we've been sitting here for a while, actually just waiting for the elephants to come down. And rather entertained because there was a crocodile, I think, right there where they came down, and they chased it into the water. One of the youngsters actually got a fright, backed off, and then went and stood there to go see what it really was that gave him a fright. Absolutely hilarious to watch. You see the very, very tiny one just there to the right. Well, 2 elephants into the herd. Very protected. Also quite nice and shady where the small one is, which is good for him. I don't really think he knows exactly how to use its trunk. So I know him walking down that hill, the trunk was literally just flapping everywhere, almost hitting himself in the eye every now and then. But a beautiful day here on Alfred Dam. Well, it's quite windy. I think Odie is... Well, the hippos agree. Odie is zooming into the other croc there. Quite an enormous croc, I must say. Big gnarled crocodile. And the hippos have all made their way towards us, actually. Some checking us out. And then I think the 2 that you can see with their back out of water might be 2 young males. So every now and then they yawn at each other and bellow at each other, almost as in competition. Joe, what a stunning day. There's a nice breeze coming off the water right onto us. Very, very nice. We're hoping that some of the elephants might actually come into the water and go for a swim. But I don't think today was too hot just yet. They're just enjoying a drink. And then further up the bank to the right, there are still some elephants making their way down. Looks like 3 more that I can see for now. 1 big female and 2 younger ones. Love the way they come down a bank. You can see it's almost like their weight pushes them forward. They do it at a trot, bit of a jog. There's really a large female. The ones now had their water. I think they're starting to move off. So that would be the matriarch's call, saying, okay, let's carry on to good feeding ground. Actually, everywhere is good feeding ground at the moment. We are so green on Ngala, it's just wonderful. Pity they don't come in for a swim. It's awesome to watch in swimming. They go on there, submerge their entire body, and the trunk almost acts like a saw. Some Egyptian geese calling in the background. So I was watching them move. It always looks like they're in no rush, just slowly ambling along. I guess it's also they don't really have anywhere to go. Just eat, drink, sleep, repeat. So we're going to stay here for a while, see if the other elephants come down. I want to see them jogging down. But for now, I don't think we'll move at all. Yeah.
It is very relaxing watching elephants move. So one of them came to the pan. The other two, the half-eared cow and her little baby, did briefly come to the pan. But now we've got two young bulls, one here and one approaching for a drink. Naturally, he's gone behind all the sticks to have his drink. Here comes another one. He's already got mud all over his body, so clearly this is not their first time at some water today. Now, this is not always their first choice for water because it's dirty, it's muddy, it's mucky. They will drink it if they have to, but they do prefer clean water. You can see one of them kind of had a drink, the other just put his trunk in, sniffed some out, and then blew it back out and decided he wasn't interested. So see if he goes to the other pan. If he does, I'll drive around there quickly. Or if he's just going feeding. Certainly looks like he wants some water. Sometimes they drink so quickly and sometimes they take ages over it. All right, let's go around there. He's obviously going to that little water hole. I'm in a bit of a mud pile. There we are. Out. Dung beetle. Yeah, he's just having a very quick drink, I think. So it's not quite muddy enough for it to be a mud bath, and I guess it's not quite clean enough for it to be proper drinking water for them. And so they've spurned our pans, and they'll move on. Fussy, fussy elephants. Of Ziziphus mucronata, or the buffalo thorn. Right, we're going to continue back towards the east now and see if we can find any more sign of those lions.
I'm sure James will succeed. If not, he'll make me laugh. We've got a bit of a better view on this beautiful little Gabar goshawk. Just to give you guys reference, this bird is about 30 centimeters. A pale chanting, which has very similar color scheme, would be about 55 centimeters. And obviously size will be a dead giveaway between the two species. But then also around the legs, the Gabar goshawk is a lot lighter in the pattern in comparison to that pale chanting goshawk, which does resemble this bird somewhat. I was just looking for that percentage of the dark morph. I just couldn't remember it, and I just wanted to refresh my memory. It makes up between 7 and 25% of the general population of this species is the dark morph. But something I stumbled across here which was amazing. This bird, when it builds its nest, would be a stick platform, and it's mainly built by that of the female. She will build a nest and then incorporate it with a social form of spider on the nest. And there's no evidence to support why they do this. There is one theory, and that could be to conceal and actually camouflage the nest. Pretty amazing, a raptor using a social spider in order to camouflage its nest. And that is another level of doing your business of creating your nest. But nice barring on the tail, easy recognizable as well. And then obviously the color scheme, just very easy to recognize. So this is definitely a territorial individual. It being here and us seeing it here continuously, this is definitely its area of operation, which is nice for us. Oh, Anushka, I wouldn't know, okay, so how strong are its talons? I wouldn't know by pressure, but the nails at the end of the digits with the power are very, very, very efficient tools to grab hold of prey. And now you've got to consider the animal is fighting for its life, so they've got to be fairly powerful and as well as have the means necessary to anchor and hold on to the prey item. So something like a rodent is, it's not going to get out the grasp of this little raptor very easily. But that's where that hook-like beak comes into very important play, because to eliminate the animal, I don't want to use other words, I don't like other words like that, but to eliminate the animal, it will obviously hold it with its little talons, and then using that hook beak, it'll sever the spinal cord to give it a quick go away. But in terms of sheer power, I'm really not sure how much power it'll be able to put down. You would have to wear a glove. Let me explain. You'd have to wear a nice thick leather glove if this little raptor had to be sitting on your hand. Because if you weren't, those talons, and obviously with the power of them, they would go straight into your hand, and that wouldn't be nice. So nice thick leather glove to protect your hand. But a really remarkable little raptor, and something that I treasure seeing here on Tswalu. It was the first time I actually ID'd one for my life list, which was actually here on Tswalu. And we are going to be doing a little walk around here to see if we can find its nest, which would be very nice if it is actively nesting. The size of it, I would say that this is a little male. Females are bigger, larger, especially in this species, the Gabar. With raptors, you're having the female being larger than that of the male, because females have to sit on the nest, so they need to be larger in order to defend and protect the invaluable little items that they deposit. So 9 out of 10 times females will be larger within the raptor family. Wow, look at that landscape. And you can see how well that bird is just hidden. Absolutely just disappears. So a nice perching spot that it could hunt from. So catching a bird on the wing or on the ground. Matthew, what tree is the bird on? Okay, let's take a look. So we'll start in the bark. You can see the nice long fragmented sections of the bark, and as well as its height is a dead giveaway, and then it's got nice long spines. This is a camel thorn, or Vichilia areoloba. Very beautiful tree. So size, that nice fragmented bark that you can see, and then its height is a dead giveaway that this is a camel thorn. Beautiful tree, extensive roots, long-lived, and obviously providing a perfect spot for a bird such as this while it's resting. It's nice, Matthew. You're interested in the tree. That's wonderful. When it comes to trees, it's just another beautiful avenue. You can see how it's just scanning, just the head rotating every now and then. And I mean, their eyes are positioned in the front of their head to give them excellent eyesight. The size of the eye, but then also the position of the eyes allows the bird to judge distance very, very accurately. When it comes to capturing prey, you don't want to be off by 2 or 3 centimeters. You want to be spot on the mark when those vicious little talons come down. But really nice. I hope everybody's having a wonderful afternoon, enjoying the game drive, the sunset safari. Myself and Glenn are definitely enjoying it. And we're coming close to the area where we're going to start searching for this mother and 3. We haven't found any tracks yet. But like I mentioned, in this landscape, if a herd of eland or oryx come through, they could obviously detrimentally affect the tracks, making it a bit longer for us to follow up on these animals. And with her moving, makes it a little bit harder, but we're always up for a challenge here on Tswalu, especially when it comes to tracking. We're going to send you off to another safari location. We'll see you later.
Good luck, Carl. Right, so all the elephants have moved off now, and there's nothing else coming down to drink. There were a few impalas on the northern side that just walked past. And strangely enough, the other elephants that were coming down, they actually never came to drink, but it kind of makes sense. I mean, there's so much water around now, so they don't really need to come to these large watering holes. All the hippos are still in the water. The one croc is in the water, the other one's still in the bank, and then just a lot of Egyptian geese. Every now and then they fly up and make a lot of noise. Actually quite interesting to see, even with a fish eagle flying over, the Egyptian geese will just start cackling away. I think we'll probably end up leaving here quite soon. We'll go back to the central parts of the reserve. But this is just such a spectacular spot on Ngala. Nice vantage point, because if you sit here on the dam wall, and if you look to the other side, right behind us now, you actually see a lot of andBeyond Ngala. I think Odie there is zooming in on a grey heron. Shame that bird also got chased away by the elephants. Everyone was just minding their own business, and then the big bullies come around and cause havoc. What a beautiful place. We're hoping that this fills up completely this year. I mean, if we're getting this much rain this early, it'd be amazing to see, because when I just arrived here, this watering hole used to stretch all the way into the north, big drainage line that runs away. It used to be a very busy spot, especially 2017, when we had that enormous drought. Everything used to come here, and even the Birmingham Pride, they used to spend a lot of time here chasing buffalo around. Especially during those times, the buffalo weren't really too strong. But yeah, I think we're going to leave here and head back towards the Timbavati River and see what else is happening on the reserve.
Your beautiful Timbavati area. I have visited there once. Very, very beautiful vegetation, diversity of animals, and as well as beautiful trees. So this guy is busy hunting right now. This is typical of Gabar goshawk behavior when they're hunting. So they would hunt from a perch position like this, or they would even pursue on ground. They would pursue an animal on the ground if obviously the animal is not too quick to scurry away. But I've read along the lines that this animal would chase after a bird between 60 and 80 kilometers for about 4.5 kilometers they've been recorded. So fairly strong in the endurance section, and you need to be fairly strong and quick to get away from this little high-speed predator. Glenn, is that a nest or is that I think that's actually a white-browed sparrow weaver nest. That's making me think that it's this little Gabar goshawk nest.
Look who was walking along the road as we came along. Oh. It's Thandi and her little son. Gosh, that makes me happy. I wonder if she's taking him to a kill. She's certainly taking him away from where the lions were. Keep our distance, because he's still a little nervous when you get too close in a vehicle and he's not on a tree or near a kill or too near his mum. So as soon as we came around the corner, he gave us a little bit of a look that said, he looked a bit scared. So I'm just going to keep my distance. I'm going to have to call this in on the radio. We might just spend a little bit longer with them, though. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm sure you're all as excited as I am to see them. All right, let's move on a bit. They're not in any rush, but she's taking a road. She might just be moving him away from where the Nkuhumas were. They've kind of come down from that area, so I don't know. Stations I've located, Thandi and Cub. They are mobile in a northerly direction along Drakensberg Road towards junction with Batalia.
Thank you.
Radio is going to go crazy.
Coming. Thanks, James. If I could book a position there, man. Thank you very much. Just from Masinga. We're very close. We're coming up from Torchwood side.
Not sure how long we'll be able to stay, but hopefully for a decent amount of time. See him trying to play with her. Getting in her way.
Thank you very much, James. Well done. I'd like to grab first standby.
So cute.
Just to confirm, James, we're coming across. Is that okay with you? We're very close. We're just coming up past George Fort Camp.
Look at that. Yeah, it's fine. We're live at the moment. Okay, let's carry on. Now, she's cut down off the road. She does love this block, and it is, to say the least, tricky to drive around in there. But we are going to do our level best. I think that they should just sit down and have a little bit of a sleep now. Don't you guys? Let me just go around them, actually. No, Malice Molly, I don't think that there is any active attempt by her to teach him where to go in this area. I think all that happens is that as he gets bigger, so they start to roam more widely together. Here they come towards us. Sit nice and still when she goes past. She can be a little bit ornery. Now you see, watch him. He's just a little bit nervous when he isn't near a tree. And he'll just trot ahead there. There we go. Hi, boy. Animals now mobile west on Batalia. So cool. I'm irritating her, trying to have a play. Okay, let's carry on. It always astounds me, the probability, of course, of bumping into these animals when you just happen to be driving along a road at a particular time, and I try not to think about it too much because it's so vanishingly small. I'm just going to stay behind them like this because there's not enough clearing for me to get around them and not do so quietly without creating a kind of big noise that I think will give him a bit of a fright. And what we don't want, more than anything, is for him to turn out like his father. It's all right, boy. See how he gave us a little look there and then trotted a little bit forward. Remember that in his infancy, he spent very little time around vehicles. Yeah, stuck in bed, it's made my day as well. He spent a lot of his youngest period, in the middle of lockdown, so he was very tiny and there was no one around, and on Torchwood. So there really wasn't a lot of vehicle activity around him. Oh, you are too sweet. Look at the way the little tongue sticks out. It's so funny. Hope she's taking him to a nice big fat kill that will be in a tree for 3 days. It's okay, boy. We're not coming any faster. The guy's mum's striding out in front of him, and just like a toddler, he has to jog to keep up every so often. Yes, Ellie, they are very beautiful cats indeed. We are so lucky to be around them. Now, I'm not sure how long we're going to be able to be with them because you heard the radio go immediately on us finding them. But we'll do our best to stay as long as we can. Yeah, no, he's a nervous little thing, this guy. Let's carry on. I'm going to have to get out of the way to allow somebody else to have a look. Oh no, she's just going. Oh, she's going off the road here. So let me just try and follow up.
Leopards are one of my favorite cats, and whenever I see one, my heart skips a bit. Now, here in the Mara, we have our Wildebeest on the move, and they look like they're heading to the west. You can see how the sun is shining on their mane as they're walking towards the west. It seems like to the western side of this Mara triangle, the grass has not been grazed or utilized. So I think after the rain, the fresh shoots of grass that grew are going to be utilized by these herds. But we've seen a change of direction and weather pattern and how these wildebeests are moving. We have some that were by the marshes where we just saw a lioness eating one. Yesterday we saw some by the river. It seems like some are crossing towards the other side of the Mara Reserve, and some that are in the plains where we call the Topi Plains. Really? Thank you so much for your question. We are about, I would say, an approximate about 7.5 kilometers away from the river. We are further towards the escarpment area. So behind me is the Ololo escarpment, and where I'm actually pointing is the Mara River. We are actually about 7.5 kilometers away. There's some herds that are close to the river, so these ones have gone further up towards the escarpment. But we always see a split up of these herds whenever they arrive here in the Mara. So some are by the marsh, some are by the river, and some are here. So to answer your question, about 7.5 kilometers away. You see some are crossing the roads while utilizing the ungrazed area. See lots of cattle egrets flying. I like the association of these herds and the cattle egrets. Look at them flying over. So I hope these herds will still be here, because I'm still crossing my fingers for